Has Lonzo Ball's career come to an end? The once highly touted prospect has struggled to live up to the hype in the first few years in the league, leading many to question whether he has what it takes to succeed at the highest level. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into Lonzo's career so far, analyzing his strengths, weaknesses, and what's been holding him back from reaching his full potential. We'll also examine the current state of his career and explore what the future may hold for the young guard. So whether you are a die-hard Lonzo fan or just a curious basketball enthusiast, you won't want to miss this one. The time seems to be not on the side of Lonzo Ball recently. There are doubts regarding his capacity to even rejoin his profession after having a third operation on his knee, for which he may miss the whole next year. The issue is that this procedure seems hastily performed, as though didn't even know why he was still in agony, according to a story. The Bulls must be thinking, let's just cut you open again. Does this indicate that Lonzo's career is abruptly finished since there is no evidence that it will succeed this time? Nothing like Lonzo has ever been seen before. Chino Hills boasted the Ball brothers, Lonzo, LiAngelo, and the 14-year-old LaMelo, whose 2016 was legendary. Public high schools are not intended to compete with the top private ones. They went 35-0 and won the national chip, but they didn't play slumps. They defeated 11 of the top 100 teams and 5 of the top 30 teams in the nation. They defeated Anthony Simons and RJ Barrett to claim the top place in December. We finally got to meet Zoe's father Albeit when he entered UCLA. I have complete faith in what my child is doing. I'll tell you right now that he is superior to Steph Curry. Put my son on Golden State and Steph Curry on UCLA's squad right now and see what happens, mentioned LeVar. From the time when they were little, LeVar raised his children to be professionals. Despite being dubbed the worst sports parent ever, his kid was selected second overall. LaMelo is already an NBA All-Star, but it raised the bar for rookies, and it took Zoe years to improve his performance. He acknowledged that when he first entered the NBA, his jump shooting was broken and needed to be fixed in the New Orleans. Zoe was the Pels' top shooter towards the conclusion of his career with a 38% field goal percentage on over 8 tries. But the Pels decided against keeping him, since they were unsure he could be the team's third best player behind Brandon Ingram and Zion, and it turned out they were fortunate to escape harm. He signed a 4-year, $80 million contract with Chicago. Before last year, they received criticism for making one of the worst offseason decisions, but they made every hater apologize in January. They were in the lead. Zoe, who now shoots 42% from 3, is fantastic on both offense and defense. He had a knee problem though at the beginning of 2021 and was given an 8-week recuperation period. But starting from the first day, he won't play for at least 144 weeks. The cause of Lonzo's injury is unknown. 5 weeks after they indicated the therapy was not working, he had surgery. LeVar questioned a video of Zoe jogging and lifting weights that the Bulls released, saying it was premature. And as expected, they declared that he will miss the season in April. In the meanwhile, the Bulls were crumbling. After Zoe was hurt, they dropped from the first place to 6th and were eliminated early. After a second operation, we didn't hear from Zoe again until the preseason. He experienced a strange knee discomfort that needed to be treated, which is the issue. A well-known Chicago reporter revealed how terrible things were behind the scenes. They are not concealing anything from us after all, they're unsure of what is wrong. Lonzo is unsure. His camp is in the dark, medical is unsure. I'm aware that he sought a second opinion and that it was discussed. I've heard he's received 3, 4, 5, and 6 opinions, because they're looking everywhere for an explanation. Because of this third operation merely seems like a last-ditch effort. It seems to be the end of a doctor's career until we hear that another doctor has discovered the secret. I'm sorry to say that, but they should have informed us if there was good news. We may never see Brandon Roy on the court again if Zoe is anything like Brandon Roy. Roy was a star by his second season and won Rookie of the Year in the process. Other athletes who have done it include LeBron, Luka, and Kyrie. Roy was described by Kobe as the toughest player in the West to defend, and as having no vulnerability in his game. Nonetheless, he had 1 of 6 knee operations in year 2. Roy was playing on bones because things had gotten so terrible that he had no meniscus in either knee. Lonzo is working with that particular tissue. Yet before Roy finished his 6th season, he announced his retirement, claiming that the cartilage in his knees had completely worn away. Before even making it to the NBA, Roy pushed himself and put a lot of miles on his knees. Many are speculating about Lonzo's reaction to LeVar's training methodology. He's not only the man after all, since the AAU has a well-established culture. Old-school athletes will agree that it's not a good idea to focus just on one sport. We were all sports players. Some would want to blame LeVar for this, but I suspect hereditary predisposition to injury is a major factor. Yet, what happened to Andre Robertson for a period was the most watched video on YouTube. In the playoffs, he was a monster for the Thunder, scoring 17 points, grabbing 12 rebounds, and playing outstanding defense as they took a 3-1 lead over Golden State before abruptly disappearing. He had setbacks for 2 years, and they had no idea when he should return or why his rehabilitation was taking so long. He spent years moving around, and at the age of 31, he is presently attempting a return to the G League. The greatest optimism for Alonzo's recovery is, however, the worst comparison. I almost don't want to show you this video, since a doctor told Sean Livingston has likely the worst knee damage you can have. For about 2 seconds, look aside if you even feel the slightest bit queasy. During the rapid break, he falls, breaks his knee, and continues. Before joining the 2015 Warriors, he only appeared in 50 games over the next 6 seasons. Then, Livingston developed into the healthy sixth man from the Dynasty Dubs that we all know. The issue with such being a sign of optimism for Lonzo is as follows. Livingston suffered a severe injury. They were never the same again because of the degenerative knee problems that Brandon Roy and Andre Robertson experienced, which are more similar to Lonzo's. By January 1st, the Bulls' defense, led by Zoe, was in the top 10. They plummeted to 27th without him. They now hold the 12th spot from last year and may not make the play-in. It's becoming so severe. There are whispers of a move for Zach LaVine, and the team's future is in jeopardy. The lack of cap space and draft selections to replace Lonzo is the main issue. When they underwent their most recent reconstruction, it was everyone's issue. To acquire Nikola Vucevic and DeMar DeRozan, they made a lot of pick trades and paid a hefty price. They must now travel with Patrick Beverley and Luata Sumnu. Nevertheless, they would probably have to deal with Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan to get a good point guard right now. This summer, Vucevic may become a free agent. Not trading for him before the deadline was a grave error, as no club is going to sign and trade for him when they know they could just acquire him for cap space. He may now simply go for nothing. The good news is that Lonzo was paid before all of this occurred, and he will earn $100 million in his career via endorsement deals and contracts. The bad news is that Chicago will need to rebuild this offseason, and that they are responsible for another $45 million of that money. We discussed Sean Livingston and Brandon Roy while discussing NBA history. A referee issue has plagued the NBA for years. Tim Donaghy, a referee who was imprisoned for gambling on sports, now claims that today's officials are dishonest for a different reason. Now it's time for your thoughts. Do you think Lonzo Ball's career is over, or do you believe he still has a chance to prove himself in the NBA? Let us know your opinion in the comments below. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We appreciate your support and look forward to hearing from you. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.